So there's been a lot of talk about Delval Brevis, his career, where it's going to be going to, what is going to be happening with his career going forward. And we were probably asking a lot of questions about what the way forward is for Delval Brevis, where's his head at, etc. Those are all of the things that we were obviously talking about. And today there was an exclusive interview with Enoch NKWE on Sport 24, and we are going to talk about those comments and what that means for South African cricket going forward. I think there are more interesting comments in this rather than looking at it a little bit deep. I think we should rather look at it a little bit deeper than just look at it on the surface. And there's a lot more meaning to the words that were said in this particular interview than what meets the eye. So I'm going to look at it as a little bit deeper. Obviously, the headline was about Deval Brevis, but there's a little bit more in these comments that I want to get into. So on today's show, we're going to discuss those comments. I'm going to bring those comments to you. Thank you for Sport 24 for doing this particular article and getting that information out there. It gives us something to talk about, gives us all as fans something to talk about and discuss. So let's talk about this particular comments that were made. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and do all of the things that we've asked you to do. Subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos, please. Smash the like button and also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine Monthly. Here's the latest issue. It's on the screen right now, so go ahead and download the latest issue, as well as click the notification bells and do all of those things. But download this, it's 100% free. Every issue, including all back issues, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. So please go ahead and do that right away. And also become a patron today. It's very important that you also do that, guys, because that helps us grow South African cricket. It helps us promote South African cricket, and it helps you guys get into it. It gives you guys an opportunity to have your hands in the pot, I would say, for example, where you guys will be able to have control over the future of South African cricket, and us as a group, as a family at Cricket Fanatics Magazine, we can help promote it and grow it. So please get involved with the Patreon account as well. We also have a website that you guys need to go and support on a regular. It's called cricketfanaticsmag.com. Please go ahead and follow us there too. Go and read the content on there. There's some excellent features heading into the new test at the Oval. So please go ahead and look at some of that information. It also gives us some excellent insight into thought processes after the Manchester defeat. So I think it would be a nice place for you to start is at cricketfanaticsmag.com to get some exclusive insight from various coaches, as well as players, etc., that give us insight, as well as performance analysts as well, talking about the Proteas, how to go forward, how to improve on the mistakes. But today's show, as you know, is about Enoch NKWE's comments. So let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is my co-host, Aditya. So glad to see him again. I always smile when I see him. So welcome to the show, everybody. Let's get into this conversation. Let's get into this talk because, Aditya, an article came out today on Sport 24 with exclusive content or comments from our director of cricket in Enoch NKWE. And he spoke about various different things, but I want to get into the comments specifically. So let me get into it, and I'll put it up on the screen for you guys so you can follow us while we read it out to you. So basically, the article was about Brevis's international cricket priorities and the fact that it remains with South Africa, playing for the Proteas, despite his early franchise T20 contracts that he's gotten all around the world. So Brevis, he broke Shika Dhawan's record at the Under-19 World Cup, as the article says, to become the run scoring record at this year's event. We know all about that. We obviously spoke about that. He also made his list A debut and first class debut for the Titans already so far, but not enough for us to really go into it. He scored 506 runs in that West against West, in the West Indies. And ultimately, we say that that probably earned him a IPL contract. Some people might say that. A lot of others might say that that the Mumbai Indians had their eye on him for a while. But he also got picked up by St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean Premier League as well. So he's going to be going there too. He's also part of the Mumbai Indians Cape Town side, who will take part in the SAT20 as well. So this he's been picked up by so many, and the 100 as well we can talk about. But let's talk about the comics specifically. This is what Enoch had to say about Deva Brevis. He was obviously asked about him. And he said that domestic cricket is important and will always encourage a player to play domestic cricket. He's been exposed to different forms of cricket and environments. He's played for the Titans earlier this year, so at least that process has started. His heart is here and he wants to play for South Africa. He understands that it may take a season or a couple of more months. We're not short sighted, and it's not like we're not aware of what is happening in the space. There's regular engagement. I can't wait for him to come back from the Caribbean Premier League so we can meet with him and see where he's at. Now, he went on to talk about Tristan Stubbs too. He said, Stubbs hasn't had an extensive franchise T20 run like Brevis, but has seamlessly graduated into the national team. And said, players like Brevis and Stubbs won't be lost to the system. It will take different speeds to develop. A system in South Africa will produce that level of quality cricketer and they won't stop. We'll have a 19-year-old that goes to the World Cup from where in a space of 6 months, they take the transition of playing for the Proteas. We've seen it, but the key is to support the player and ensure the base is solid. Now, two players were mentioned in this particular comments, Deval Brevis and Tristan Stubbs. But I'm going to do a little bit more reading into this. We did an interview with Deval Brevis, myself and Aditya, in fact, and he specifically made it clear to us that the Proteas is his goal in all formats. So we can categorically say that what we've been told over the last couple of the last year or two since he's rose to fame, that his heart is in it for South Africa, and it seems that that is the communication that is being between the DOC and Enoch NKWE. But that's not the important thing for me, Deva. The second set of quotes about the franchise system, how important it is for youngsters, that Enoch NKWE has spoken about talking to Deva Brevis, speaking to Tristan Stubbs, having different plans for the two of them because their journeys are different, their talents different, their roles are different. I like that because that highlights to me that they are thinking of the things that we were hoping that they would be thinking of. We spoke about this, at least I spoke about this in the last couple of shows, talking about the transitional phase, thinking about our guys that are talking to the players that are on the radar for the future, giving play development programs, having conversations with the guys about their futures for South Africa. That's a different conversation that needs to be had, even though it overlaps playing the globally for T20 cricket, because whatever you choose to do in the T20 arena or in your private capacity affects your time with the national side too. It will affect your game time, practice time, so many things. Let me first get your thoughts, Aditya, on the comments made. I think they are really good comments, and I think it needs to actually be promoted more. That's why I brought it on this show, because I thought it was a great topic to discuss. But I like the fact that Enoch NKWE is having conversations with the talented players that are the future of South African cricket. Now, knowing Enoch over the years, dealing with him, having interviews with him, meeting him in person, of course, after games, speaking to him in domestic times when he was with the Lions, etc., and even before, I've gotten that feeling from him that he does think ahead, that he has systems in place, that he has a plan. This shows signs of the fact that he has a plan, don't you think?
What really stood out to me in his comments about Dewold and Tristan Stubbs is that he seems to be acutely aware of the cricketing landscape right now, and he's dealing with both these players in cognizance of that, new cricketing landscape. And he's also treating them as individuals because he knows that while Tristan Stubbs has sort of made his way into the national team, Daywold has made his way into leagues around the world. And um, the two of them are typically bracketed together, but their journeys are different. And even though they may play together for a very long time, they still have to be treated as individuals. So, what I really liked, and it's something that we've talked about for a long time, communication. This is good communication because now I don't think anyone should be asking about whether Dewald will play or not for the Proteas in the coming future. You know, all the chatter about fast tracking and things like that should be put to rest because Enoch has told us exactly what Dewald should be doing with respect to domestic cricket in South Africa. So I think that's good information. That gives they all clarity. It gives us clarity, and it's important because all the stakeholders should be aware. You know, when the Proteas, assuming there's a day when the Proteas don't do well, the next question should not be why was Daywald not selected? Well, Daywald was not selected because there is a roadmap for him, and we have to respect that now.
Mhm. And we do. And I like the fact that first class cricket was mentioned in this article. I like the fact that domestic cricket was mentioned in this article, and I like the fact that there is a plan. Now, I think it will probably be almost impossible for Enoch NKWE to do this with every single domestic cricketer in the country. But at least he can start somewhere and talk to the guys that are immediate threats. And I think that there is a concern within South African cricket when you speak about the BREVIS that we might that some fans, even maybe you could say some coaches too, um, even I think maybe some players will probably think it too that we might never see Deva Brevis in first class cricket ever. Some people have that opinion. I've had conversations, arguments, etc. about this off camera, obviously, um, talking about this, saying that but I've spoken to Dewald and I've never gotten the vibe that he doesn't want to play for South Africa, and yet people still have that opinion and don't look at that as a clear enough evidence that that is what he wants to do. So there is a concern that we might lose him to T20 domestic cricket, and he's just going to be playing T20 cricket all his life, and that was is going to be his bread and butter and his way forward. I think from my interactions with Dewald and the way he is as a person, my conversations I've had with him, I've always seen him as a traditionalist to an extent of the wanting to represent the country, wanting to play for South Africa, living up to his obviously his hero Abe de Villiers and maybe perhaps even surpassing him, I think, as a goal. So it doesn't seem to me that his eye is not on the prize, in my opinion. But we need to make sure that we are also guiding him. We're also giving him the protection that he needs, the guidance that he needs from Cricket South Africa. Um, Conversations must be had to protect players of that caliber so that they make the right decisions in their career. Now, any decision that you make is probably going to be a gamble. There's always a gamble involved with it. Can never be 100% sure that it's going to work out. You go into certain situations and you might have hope and you might have belief and you might even have been given the assurities that they're going to back you. But nothing always works out the way you want it to. Unfortunately, that is just the case that you should always be prepared for. So the main fact that I'm taking out of this is the main topic that Aditya spoke about, and that is communication. We never got this type of conversations before, and the fact that it's coming out in a big publication. And also, I don't think Enoch is a stupid guy either. I think he's a very smart man that knows when to speak. He's not the type of guy that's going to come out and just speak all the time and be that guy that wants to be in the media. He's the type of guy that likes to work behind the scenes. But when he feels that he needs to talk, he talks. Now, obviously, the T20 World Cup is happening. The T20 World Cup announcement is happening tomorrow with our squad. So it makes sense that Sport 24 probably went and asked her for this interview to get some insight into what that World Cup squad is going to look like. And we know that there's going to be questions around Stubbs and around Deva Breva specifically, who hasn't actually played for South Africa yet, but there's going to be questions around their selection, whether they're going to be in the squad, whatever that may be. So obviously, we need to be not be naive about it as well, and look at the timing of the article too, because that also makes sense. But the fact that he went to Sport 24 with us, or Sport 24 probably found him for it, it gives me an insight that he understands also the scope of the media, and that's also important to have. Yeah, I think that probably also because of the relationships the media have with Enoch and the dealings with him, he knows when to speak, who to speak to, at what time. So I like that he has some sort of, I wouldn't call it street smartness, but you know what I mean. From a journalistic perspective, he has understanding of how journalists work as well, and what their aims and what their goals are.
It's like what we expect from batters. He's got good timing.
Good. It's a brilliant timing. So, what do you guys say about this? So, let's start with Akshay. He says Brevis will make a career playing T20 leagues across the globe. He will never make it into the playing 11 in a SA domestic side due to quota restrictions. I don't agree with that. I think if he's talented enough and he's ready, they would play him. I think there are spots for him in the Titan setup if he can show that he can be consistent in the Red Bull arena.
Yeah, and also, it's not. Look, he's will he make a career playing T20 leagues across the world? Of course he will. He's going to have an illustrious career there, and there's plenty of money to get. There's plenty of experience to attain, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he will make it. He's already made it into the Titans team, so um, it's not like he's there just to watch the other players do their job. He's there because they see talent in him, and
Hmm.
um, he's definitely going to make it.
Yeah.
But timing is essential. And South Africa need to get that right, because as Herschel Gibbs always used to say, that he was perhaps drafted into the national team a bit too early. So we don't want that with Devold.
Hmm. Yeah. And if I look at the teams, it's not that one. It is not that one. It is this one. I think it is. Let me just try and find it quickly, guys. Sorry. That's. Let me just remove this comment from the screen. Um, Hollywood Pets Girls. No, it's not this one. And this is Division 2. Okay, I can't pick it up for you right now. I don't have it here. I lost the team. I lost the team. But if you look at the Titans team, we did a whole video on this with Verna on the show as well. And we looked at it and we said there was quite a nice balance between experience and youngsters at the Titans. So I do think that there will be opportunities for him over there. And I think 4-day cricket is very important for every youngster. Let's not just focus on the players here. I think every single youngster in South African cricket that has the talent, I do believe that first class cricket will help them in T20 cricket. We've heard experienced guys, experienced cricketers that have played all formats speak about it and how it's helped their game. Aditya has spoken about it in depth about the stories he's read about certain players that have spoken about Red Bull cricket and how it helped the T20 game. So I do think that will help him a lot. And look here, flying around the world playing T20 cricket, I know from a money perspective it looks all glamorous, but is that the life you want to have? Jumping from country to country, 6 weeks at a time. Um, you never get to settle. You're playing cricket all the time. Like, is that really the life that you really want to have? There's not necessarily much time to be with family um, at that particular stage. And would your family want to uproot, especially if you're young? When you're starting your family. I guess if he was young, he didn't have attachments right now, and for the first 3 years of his career, he decided, okay, let's make bank and try and get as much money as possible. Then I can understand that. But I do think that he has a lot of other things in his life and in his mind that he wants to achieve. And I think representing your country for South African specifically, that as is as South African as Delva Brevis is, I think he's gonna want to represent this country like AB did. I would be very disappointed if that doesn't happen. Um, okay, yes, if he gets rejected by South Africa and they say, you know what, nah, and then he decides it, then by all means. But at this moment, I think it's way too young for us to start thinking about that. I just hope that those statements, like that, statements that I've heard float around on social media and etc. and in the public and off camera, etc. I've heard statements like he'll never hit a red ball cricket in his life, a red ball cricket ball in his life. I don't want that to come true because I think he's such an amazing generational talent. All these T20 tournaments are going to mess the kid up. County cricket will do good. What is your thoughts on county for him? I mean, I don't mind him playing maybe a Division Two, getting some red ball cricket, county cricket under his game, under his belt, but not at the expense of his duties for South Africa or his duties for the domestic system like the Titans. I think rather play for the Titans than play county cricket right now.
I mean, my question to Jake here would be that is there a relationship between the T20 tournaments and the county? Because I mean, I don't know if I'd much rather have him play domestic cricket in South Africa,
Me too.
because I think that would be quite challenging. And that's not to say that county cricket wouldn't, but given the schedule of cricketers these days, and Tewol himself is quite a busy young man,
Mm,
um, I would much rather have him play domestic cricket in South Africa. And
mm,
then if he has a little bit of spare time and he wants to explore his red ball game further, then perhaps he can consider county cricket. But
mm.
no, first priority is always going to be South African domestic cricket for red ball.
Yeah, like I know that a lot of youngsters, like even Matthew Brzezinski, for example, someone that I've been close to in the past. I need to get him on the show again. I miss that boy. I haven't spoken to him forever, so I think I should have another show with him so we can have a long chat. But players like him, he decided to go play in England at quite a young age, but not from a county perspective, like signing a massive county deal. It was just in the off season so that he can get some experience playing in there on those conditions, etc. And it helped his game a lot. And I think the way you plan this as a young cricketer, and I don't know, personally, I'm not a cricketer, and I don't have children, so I can't really give you the advice from a parent's perspective. But from a logistical perspective, in my head, how I think about it is, you have your domestic cricket season for South Africa, and you have the national games that kind of coexist with our domestic season, and then you also get your off season. And there's quite a bit of time in the off season where players kind of explore their options and see what they're gonna do. You still want to play cricket. You don't want to just be sitting around doing nothing either. Some players actually want to play both. So then go and look in England, go and look in Australia, go and look in, I don't know, other places to go find out how you can improve certain aspects of the game. And don't go there with the intention of like, oh, I'm gonna get money from this and it's an opportunity to make money. Go there and say, what's the best option for me to improve my game? And if they have that mentality, I think you can then start planning your life a lot better, your career a lot better, and have a clear path of what you're going to do. And then at that stage, if certain roadblocks come along the way, you can probably see it coming um, and fix it before there's a major problem. Now, my ideal scenario for every young cricketer in South Africa would be playing SAT20 and maybe one other competition. If they don't get the IPL, then maybe CPL, maybe BPL, whatever the case may be, anything that's not clashing with the SAT20 and that is played in a different time period than the SAT20. So, me personally, that's what I would like to see. And I think that's enough money for any young cricketer because you're going to be making triple, quadruple your salary that you're making in South Africa anyway. So um, greed mustn't take over. And I'm scared that greed is going to take over in cricket. It's going to corrupt our cricketers, it's going to corrupt our players, and they're going to take their eye off the prize, which I feel is being test champions and world champions in ODI cricket, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my say on that. But what do you have to say on that, Aditya? Do you think also what Lawrence is right? I mean, obviously the T20 announcement happening tomorrow. Let's just hope they get one right in terms of selection. And it's
Yeah,
do you think that had anything to do with these comments being made as well?
possibly, because I think there could have been some sort of speculation that that Tewol should be in the T20 team, and perhaps to ensure that there isn't any of that sort of speculation, Enoch gave the statement that he did. Having said that, it is important, as Lawrence said, that they should get that selection right. We don't want too many disappointments and shocks there. Uh, but yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, let's see how it goes because I mean we will go live. Um, not directly after, but the evening to talk about the World Cup announcement. I'll monitor that though, guys. I'll see. Perhaps maybe I can go live directly after the announcement. I'll see how that works. But I think it's a lot better for us to talk in the evening and get a lot deeper into this discussion. And I would like Aditya to obviously join us as well. But we got some news as well about Johnny Bairstow and that he's out of the World Cup, which is a massive blow for England, and also out of the Test series against South Africa as well. So that's a massive blow for him. So I hope there's no major blows for South Africa. I hope we get everything in order. But most importantly, I want to see that our bench is of high quality. That if anything happens to any of our main players in that core group, that we have the right players to replace them with the right mentality. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. I don't be surprised if you see Temba Bavuma get selected as captain for this team squad. We're going to discuss that too. But that's a very important announcement tomorrow that we will be covering on the show. So that's why subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified on when we will be talking about that. Because you know that we will talk about any major things that happens in South African cricket. So that's a major, major, major day for South African cricket. Um, Leclerc, surely Riley makes the squad. He's one of the best T20 players in the country. Klassen or Rassi will be on the chopping board. Unfair, yes, but I don't see them dropping Riley, in my opinion. Let's talk about this tomorrow. I don't really want to talk about this today because I don't want it's the speculation. I think it's a lot better for us to maybe talk about this when the announcement happens. But good points there, Lawrence, and I'm not going to look over it. That's why I showed it on the show. Deva Brevis by 2027 World Cup could be the face of the Proteas, and that is very, very likely to that could happen. And South Africa, it's going to be in South Africa as well. Uh, geez, the fame that's coming to this boy is unbelievable. I don't even think he understands all of it yet. He's kind of very new to all of this, and it all seems I don't know. I wouldn't know what he's feeling exactly, even if he tells me. So it must be insane to see all your heroes. Like imagine you've had all of these heroes that you looked up to, and then in a space of 3, 4, 5 months, you meet all of them. That's like insane.
You
It's
don't only
mental.
meet all of them; you play with them
Play
also,
with him. Yeah, jeez,
because
unbelievable.
and he's meeting MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli and all of that, but he's also playing with guys like Rohit Sharma and Bumrah and Sky and all these people who are also legends in their own right, and yeah, and it's a phenomenal experience, isn't it? To be hitting those four sixes, and then having Sachin Tendulkar and Mahela Jayawardene come onto the field to give you more advice. So, yeah, it's quite a lot. It's quite a meteoric rise for Dewold, and
Mm.
I think more than anything, more than the fame and the popularity that he's garnering, more than anything, I want to see him become a better player. He should explore that potential
Mm.
because 20 ball 40s are good, and they'll ensure that he's always on the circuit, but I would love to see him make more 70 of 30 balls. you know
Mm. Please don't, and also, guys, just a notice to the live chat. Please don't spam the comments. I will get to your comments. If I don't, then you can maybe ask a little later, but don't spam in a row because then I'm not going to read out your comments. So it's not going to benefit you at all if you're going to do that. Lichla saying another youngster. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There was another one that I saw that I want. Khalid, there we go. Khalid, it's clear that the provinces have clear plans for the future in terms of youngsters. Look at Ronan Herman, who has made his debut with the Lions at the age of 18 in the One Day Cup final. Look at Slade van Staden, who was picked up for the USA under 19s in 2021. but he was offered a professional contract by the Dolphins. So there is a future plan, and I do believe that there is a future plan, and it's difficult in cricket because you get given a contract and then you look at the other money that you would be earning if you played in another country, and you just like what? It's very difficult to turn that down, you know. So yes, this country definitely needs an injection, especially South African cricket needs an injection of finances, but not only an injection of finances. It needs an injection of finances and the right people to manage those finances. Because I think that's going to be the biggest problem with South African cricket is how we're going to manage this massive money that's going to all of a sudden be coming in with this SAT20 league. That's going to be the key for us. How we manage the money, that we put it into the right pots. Um, it's going to be a decision that's going to be made because you're going to have to either decide on how much money you're going to be putting into your investment that you only be able to maybe reap rewards after 10 years, which is our grassroots level. You can invest into that and you reap rewards 10 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever the case may be. Um, because it takes time for a new system to take place. It takes time for those players to develop that you've invested your time into. They need to finish school and go through the system. You can't just skip. Not everybody is a Mike Tyson. So you need to also be very careful of what happens with regards to that, because I think that there might be some things that need immediate attention that the money can be used for that will give us more immediate results. Now, I don't know exactly know what that is yet. I need to obviously think about it a lot more. But I'm pretty sure that there are short-term, long-term plans, and medium tier plans that need to be solved and sorted out. And I hope that the money gets used wisely. That's all. This is 98. Brevis playing leagues. Meanwhile, his best friend from MI, Tilak Varma, scored 100 against New Zealand A, playing for the country. What's your thoughts on him, Aditya? Because similarly to Deva Brevis, this boy is also gaining a lot of attention.
He's definitely a future India player. There's no question about it. And he's such an enterprising and imperious young talent. He deserves to play for India. But again, I think that the competition is such that it's going to take a while. So if he keeps on bettering his game, he'll find an opportunity eventually.
Mhm. So to the guys that maybe missed the show at the beginning, I'm going to read it out to you again. This is the comments of Enoch NKWE about Deva Brevis. Domestic cricket is important and we'll always encourage a player to play domestic cricket. He's been exposed to different forms of cricket and environments. He's played for the Titans earlier this year, so at least that process has started. His heart is here and he wants to play for South Africa. He understands that it may take a season or a couple of more months. We're not short sighted, and it's not like we're not aware of what is happening in his face. There's regular engagement. I can't wait for him to come back from the Caribbean Premier League so we can meet with him and see where his head is at. So I like that. I want to see more of that. Please, Enoch, we would like to see more of that. Identifying young talent, talking to them, keeping the conversation going. But I also would like something, and this is maybe stretching a bit and maybe asking for too much. But if a player decides to not agree to South African CSA's terms, and they say, you know what, we're not going to take the offer, or we don't agree with what you say, and they decide not to follow the plan, it would be nice to also hear if that happened, instead of us as fans speculating about this, making our own minds up, and then also sometimes, in some cases, making the player the enemy and turning our backs on the player because we think that they've turned down South Africa. Uh, so whether CSA has spoken to a player or hasn't spoken to a player or decides not to, I would like to have that communication to be consistent. I don't want to be hearing about things through the grapevine and then not sure if I can speak about it or not. Um, so there's a lot of things that I would like to be clear. Like clarity is the main thing for me, and I think clarity is something that we can maybe speak about on another show. But guys, for now, Aditya, any final words that you'd like to say before we say bye to everybody?
Honestly, much as I'd like to see they will play in all of these leagues, I would really love to see him play in green and gold someday. So I hope that he does come through for his domestic franchise and climb that ladder up to the national team.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks. And I would love to see Matt Newlands playing against the Titans in a red ball cricket. I get to watch him 5 days, or 2 days, no, 3 days, well, depending on how long he bats, of course. 4 days. Okay, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for all future videos. Myself and our teacher are going to try hard to get some in interviews on the show after the test series. I think that's probably the best time, or over the next 2 weeks, we'll try to get some exclusive interviews, introducing you to some of the new players in the teams, and let's see if we can get the availability going. It might be me only sometimes if Aditya can't make it, and it might be us together. Sometimes if he can make it. So we'll obviously assess that and see how we go forward. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. Also, help us grow South African cricket by becoming a and promote South African cricket by becoming a paid team today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is the latest issue so that you guys know what one to look out for. Gives us some excellent insight into captaincy. Um, it's such a good issue, guys, to have an understanding of what the characteristics are of a captain, what it takes to be a captain, all sorts of things. And about Dean Algar, there's an excellent feature on Dean Algar and what made him the player that he is today and the leader that he is today. So please go ahead and look at that as well. Also, one last thing, guys, go to cricketfanaticsmag.com. Please support us there. We need the views on that website. That will set us up for anything else that we want to do in the future. So please support us there and go and read all the comments, the features, share it with your friends and family. Talk about it, guys. Please share it on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to. Get people to read the stuff that's on our website. Some excellent insight there from our writers who are working exceptionally hard to get you guys the best content that we possibly can as fans in this industry. But thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with the World Cup announcement. Very excited to see what happens over there. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and do everything that I would do. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Peace.